Today I'm going to show you 10 key reasons why you would want to build more muscle yourself. Because, as you'll see in this video, there is much more to this culture than simply trying to look good naked. Although we all know that that's the most important thing. Duh. But before we get rolling, consider subscribe and smash the like button to help my goal of making the world a fitter and stronger place. Have you ever wondered why so many of these so-called fitness people on social media get away with consuming tons of calories almost every day? Well, they all have one thing in common. They train hard regularly and they've gained a good amount of muscle mass as a result of it. Many studies have shown that individuals with higher percentage of lean tissue relative to their body size have better levels of insulin sensitivity. The more muscle you have, the more glucose gets absorbed by your muscles to use it as energy later on. This means that a lower percentage of glucose gets stored in your cells as fat. However, this enhancement in insulin sensitivity can only take place in an environment of regular physical activity. If you're a jacked person but were to stop training completely, your body composition will quickly change. So what's the takeaway of all this? Never quit training. Muscles alone can't do crap. The millions of electric impulses we send from our brain are the ultimate catalyst for muscles to perform a contraction. In other words, strength training is also neurological training. So as we train to gain muscle mass, we are also training the communication channel between the brain and muscles, something that greatly improves both coordination and movement efficiency. Moreover, getting stronger is extremely relevant for people with physical jobs. Having an appropriate amount of muscle mass is definitely going to assist them in strenuous activities where some sort of lifting, holding, or carrying of heavy things is involved. So time to turn off Netflix and switch on your brain instead. Not only is muscle tissue important in an active capacity, like performing a muscular contraction, but it also has other passive properties that could protect us from getting hurt, whether we are talking about a fall playing sports or the violent pounding we impose on our joints when we go for a run on concrete. Think of your muscular system as a perfectly customized armor that not only makes you stronger, but also protects you from outside forces. So, if you want to create your own shield of meat as a beginner, prioritize multi-joint exercises under heavy load, and you'll be a step closer to obtaining citizen status in the greatest country on earth, Badass Land. In the process of building muscle, you'll also be doing a great favor to your bones. Think of these two systems as a single unit designed to work together. That's why experts had to come up with a fancy term of musculoskeletal system. What a mouthful! As you impose ever greater levels of stress on your muscles, you're also forcing your bones to keep up. In fact, resistance training has been shown time and time again to be the best way to preserve bone density as we age. The combination of muscle mass and bone preservation is what makes a 70-year-old grandpa move like he's in his 40s. So, if you put in the work, you might be able to beat your grandchildren at a push-up contest. If you're a professional athlete, having an adequate amount of muscle mass for your sport could be the difference between being very good and being world-class. But let's be real. Regardless of how hard you train, there are many other factors that will determine your level of success. However, if you're lucky enough to have the right genetics for your sport and then you exhibit the work ethic and relentless mindset of a champion, striving for your best possible body composition will give you that extra edge. A few pounds of muscle could put you at a great advantage over your competitors. Remember, jumping just an extra inch higher or run a tenth of a second faster could be all it takes for you to get to the top of the podium. Earn it. Modern life takes place in a relatively safe environment. But in the off chance that you find yourself in the wild, your likelihood to make it through greatly depends on your physical strength and how your physical strength compares to others. If you can run faster than John because you produce higher forces against the ground to propel yourself forward, You will be more likely to escape from a bear attack if you hang off a branch of a tree and the only way for you not to die was to pull yourself up. Would you make it? As unlikely as these scenarios might seem to you right now, that doesn't change the fact that you don't want to face a life or death situation with insufficient physical strength. Alright, let's make it more real then. How would you fare in a car accident? All things being equal, having more muscle mass will greatly help your body absorb the impact of the crash, and this could be the difference between recovering in a hospital bed for a few weeks or hitting the game over button. The process of getting jacked requires a higher metabolism. Your basal metabolic rate is the energy required for your body to keep your system functioning at rest. The more muscular version of yourself would burn more calories throughout the day than your weaker and smaller form by the simple fact of being alive. And furthermore, if these two individuals were to do the same workout, your jacked version will also burn more calories because your body has to contract larger muscle fibers, which requires more energy. But let's face it, your stronger version would also be able to do a more challenging variant of the same workout due to superior muscle mass, which will result in even higher energy expenditure. Time to get on fire! Resistance training has also amazing antidepressant properties. Have you ever noticed how great you feel after a hard training session? Well, there is a reason for that. Challenging levels of physical exertion cause the release of hormones that improve our mood and reduce stress. But even more important than the body's immediate response to high-intensity training, you'll probably notice gradual improvements in your physical appearance over time. These positive changes will fuel your motivation to keep going. Perhaps you'll reach a point where you no longer feel self-conscious about wearing a string top in public. Maybe you finally enjoy how those jeans look on you now. And if that's not a self-esteem booster, then I don't know what is. Other people will immediately notice your boosted sense of self-worth. Granted, there are other personality traits that go along with a more visually pleasing physique, but there is no denying that certain physical attributes make you more attractive to others. Biologically speaking, most of us are wired to be sexually attracted to those who exhibit fitter characteristics because this situation implies that he or she will be a more suitable candidate for producing healthy offspring. Having an attractive body only is not a guarantee for success in passing on your genes, but you're stacking the odds in your favor if you take good care of yourself. Performing basic movement patterns under load is a time-tested way to enjoy a better quality of life as we age. A 70-year-old man who has regularly done resistance training during his entire life is more likely to retain muscle mass and bone density than an individual who has led a rather sedentary life. As a result of this, the stronger person is actively slowing down sarcopenia, which is a process involving age-related wasting of muscle. More and more studies are coming out suggesting that there is a strong correlation between chronic or deadly diseases and the loss of muscle mass and physical strength. Scientific research also seems to suggest that the loss of muscle results in the loss of balance over time. If your chances of falling and thus fractures are greater, you are more predisposed to periods of reduced mobility, which in turn accelerates further muscle loss. If this situation persists, the chances of frailty and loss of independence will increase exponentially. And no, only going for walks is not gonna cut it. You need to prioritize resistance training in combination with an active lifestyle and good nutrition. And lastly, we should talk about what I call the pollination effect. So far, we've only looked at the positive effects that muscle mass will have on your individual health. But in the pursuit of your own physical strength, you can also elevate others. Remember, there is always someone watching. Always. Humans have the extraordinary ability to inspire others without ever having to interact with them directly. Your actions speak louder than your words. And if you consistently train hard over the years, you could unintentionally empower the people around you. And sometimes it only takes one moment of inspiration to change a person's life forever.